again, thanks for all coming. Uh, for those of you who are here for the first time, I'll go over the laundry list, and then we can start. The actual purpose of this meeting is not to sell each other on what we do, but to educate each other as to what we do, so that when we go out in the field, we can recommend each other with a clear conscience, knowing that we can do the right job and there's not going to be, call it a blowback to us for sending somebody out that's not credible. Uh, we get to know each other, feel comfortable with each other, and secure in recommending everybody. Uh, what we do at the meeting is we go around the room. We ask everybody to give us your name, your company name, and what your company does. At the end of each introduction, feel free to ask questions of the speaker. And at the end of today's meeting, I will send each of you a spreadsheet with the contact information of everybody that attends today. So you don't have to sit there and write notes on that. We'll take care of that for you. This is the third meeting of this Wednesday group. And here comes Steve. And this group, I think, will grow quickly as the one on Friday has. And so when you do attend this meeting, please schedule yourself for a full hour, because it's not fair to the people who speak at the end not to have a full audience as the people in the beginning do. Feel free to invite other vendors that might not be a conflict with people in the group. And of course, invite restaurateurs who might be either expanding or building a new restaurant, because it becomes a little trade show for them. And it certainly becomes an opportunity for everybody in the group to pitch and have the restaurateur listen to what each one of you do. So it's important. So what we'll do is we'll start going around today, and let's see what we've got. I'm not going to time. Usually I time somebody when we have a lot of people. I usually allow 2 minutes. So try and go like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm not going to time you because we have time. And tell us what you do. Daniel, you can start us off. You're a veteran.
Awesome. So my name's Daniel Ridley. I'm originally from South Africa. So that's why I talk a little bit funny. I'm not from Boston, so don't get confused. I'm in the exciting industry of merchant services or credit card processing. And straight away, one of the things that makes me different in the industry is I don't have a contract, I don't have a cancellation fee, I don't have an application fee, and we don't charge for PCI compliance. So everything we do is to make it as easy as possible for the business to accept payments. We've actually just developed an API, which is an application programming interface. So we can actually go up against Stripe now. Stripe is known in the industry to be able to take payments. They use a one-size-fits-all model. And we're able to go against them and do a customized solution. So we'll look at the different types of the business, the cards they accept, the transaction sizes, and customize them a program that is going to be better fit than what they currently have. Also developed an app called Rate Tracker that's free to use, something to improve the industry that needs a change. So the way it works is it uses AI or machine learning to keep track of the effective rate that a business pays every month. So no switchover required. You just open the link, sign up, and then the system will take care of it automatically. Put it all in a nice, easy to read graph. And if there's any changes, you'll get a notification right away. One of the best, the best for the system, the worst for the business owner that we've seen is a pizzeria up in Ohio. Had a 3-year contract with our biggest competitor in the area, and they auto-renewed them at 50 basis points, so 0.5%. He went on for additional 2 years with them, paid $10,000 in additional fees without being aware. If he had Rate Tracker, the first month that he saw that increase, the system would have flagged it. He would have got an email and a push notification to let him know that he had seen that increase, and he wouldn't have paid that extra $10,000. I don't know about you, but I could use an extra $10,000 in my pocket. We're also going up against Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. So instead of taking 25 to 35% of an order, we take 8%. We directly integrate with their social media and their website. And of that 8%, we actually put back some into their business to promote them on marketing. so they get better share locally. Have a third-party delivery system nationally. So they've got 4,500 drivers in place. They are independent of us. We just refer the business out to them, and it's a really great system and a better solution than Uber Eats. So if you know anyone that has a restaurant or any kind of business that accepts credit cards, get them to reach out to me. We'll customize them a program, explain how the industry works, and make sure their swipes go right. I'll look forward to helping you.
Thank you.
Nice.
As I said before, if anybody has any questions, it's perfectly fine to ask after the presentation. Okay, Rob.
Morning. My name is Rob Herget. I am the founder and president of boostyourbusiness.com. We have a number of platforms that we work with really businesses of all niches, but we are very much focused on restaurants these days. We have a program called Restaurant Hero, where frankly, we're working with restaurants all over the country and communities all over the country. But the idea is to bring in new customers through very targeted ads that we put out there, gather their data, market to them on an ongoing basis, turn them into loyal customers, and then our technology takes it a step further where these customers can share these restaurants with their friends and family just through the push of a button. So the idea is to increase their revenue, increase their automations, and make them more productive and increase that user experience. We have platforms that deal with reputation. We create custom chatbots for restaurants and businesses out there to automate their business. And any restaurant that's doing ads that's not automating that, we are 10xing the results on those ads. So you once you're on Facebook, you'll start seeing a lot more advertising on there. Click on the button there and you'll see that most of it just kind of ends somewhere, either on a website or somewhere else. We can actually increase that revenue probably 10 times, if not more, using through some of the automations that we're doing with advertising. So we are kind of soup to nuts when it comes to Boost Your Business, and we do have an affiliate program where we work with consultants in the marketplace that earn 20% for life of the gross revenue that we bring in for those clients. So if anybody's interested in that.
Do you have a database of end users or consumers, or is that up to the restaurant?
We are gathering data on their customers. We're bringing in new customers through our advertising that we're doing in the community. We're gathering their data, their emails, their phone numbers, and we're able to market to them on an ongoing basis. So it's the cool thing about it is we're doing it in communities all over the country. So we're doing it with numerous restaurants in that community. You might see an ad say, hey, come support your local Palm Beach restaurant, come get a free meal. And we are bringing in, put it this way, the minimum ROI on that program was $3,200 of new revenue on a $300 expense for the month. That was the minimum ROI.
Right.
So we had some that were well over 50 grand on an investment of $300. So it's been very successful.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you. John, you think you're ready to do it?
As soon as I find the unmute button, I'm always ready.
I had a feeling you were born ready.
I am. Isn't it funny how the hardest thing for people to do is to explain their business? And I've been in a lot of these groups over the years. So good morning, everybody. My name is John Mulholland. I'm based here in just northeast of Atlanta, Georgia. And I work for a company called Strategic Supply Chain. We are a broker. However, we're a little bit different. Most brokers charge a surcharge for their services. We don't make any money unless you get a discount. So if you're buying a box of steaks for $100, we come in at get them to you at 85, then we split the difference on what we save you. We can do anywhere in the US. All we need is a 60-day descending report. Give us a couple weeks, we come back and show you exactly item by item how much we can save you on each one. And if we can't save you any money, we're not going to make any money, so we don't want your business. And I got into this because it ties in with my commercial real estate, because I'm licensed in Georgia as of now for people that want to get in and buy restaurant space. So I'm going to listen very closely to everybody, because the more I know about the restaurant business, the better off I can be a commercial agent for those looking to, as we rebound from 2020, look into getting spaces for restaurants, because we will be growing. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay.
Wait. So how do you find your spaces for restaurants or your clients for somebody that wants to, would, now that you've gotten your license, or is it super recent?
No, I've had my license for a few years. Great question. One is I have what is called CoStar, access to CoStar, which is like the FMLS for commercial.
Okay.
Two, I have a large group of other commercial agents that I network with. And number three, my memory. Whenever I drive by a vacant restaurant, I put that in my memory Rolodex. So just say, hey, yeah, John, I'm looking for a restaurant in Johns Creek. I go, you know what? I know exactly where space is for you. So I combine all those three factors.
Terrific. I drive by a vacant restaurant. I take my phone out and give it to myself, and I say, here, there's a vacant restaurant here. Find out what's going in there. And I have it on my email by the time I get home, or on a message. So I just use my, my text as a voice recorder. So that
Nice.
helps, because I can't drive and write. Well, I could, but I don't.
Where are you
Great.
based?
Okay.
Where are you based, Terry?
In South Florida, Boca Raton.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Michael.
Howard.
Michael?
Hi, Michael Sass. I'm in food sales. I work for a company called B&A Food Sales. Basically, we're a broker. It started in New York in 1985. They are called B&A Food Brokers. The Southeast division that was opened up is called B&A Food Sales. And my territory is North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and they're headquartered in Florida. And basically, I just connect operators with an applicable manufacturer, and it's basically a win-win, because we either could have a better quality product at an equal or better price point, and the cut test, which you test their current product against one of your manufacturer products, and the proof is in the taste and the quality. And then if the price works out, and it works out as far as distribution, it's a win-win. So we look at our business as partners, and we're trying to help them continue to increase sales by providing good products, new products, innovative ways to present these products from the chefs from these manufacturers, and from our own knowledge and our own meetings, and from what we hear on the street. In other words, we just picked up a plant-based company. They have plant-based barbecue, and they also have what's called a naked barbecue, barbecue. And Mexican restaurants are using it as their vegetarian taco. They currently use cauliflower, but they're using this. Barbecue restaurants are using it as a plant-forward based product for vegans and vegetarians and what have you. So we can tell them, listen, this Mexican restaurant's being successful. Why don't you try it? Do a 3-month what they call LTL, LTO, limited time offer, and see if it works. So we're partners. We try and, if it doesn't work, it's not going to work. So we're not looking to sell the cheapest price of something. We're looking to be a partner and have a long-standing relationship to work with you. And that's what we do.
So you represent a specific lineup of product that you sell to restaurants directly.
Yes, we in North Carolina, we have 30 manufacturers that we represent, and we can,
Wow.
and within those manufacturers, we could be selling to a food bank, a regional chain, a hospital, a healthcare facility. The cruise lines aren't really up and running, so it's not cruise lines. Multi-unit chains, ballparks, it's food service. That's basically what it is.
Right.
Food service. We do have retail, but it's not as much here in the South. Up north, it's more retail, and but we're getting into more retail.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Terry Bean.
Hi, everybody. How are you today? And good morning. I'm Terry Bean, and I'm your mobile marketing consultant. I work with SendText. And how many of you want to reach and grow your customer base in the next 30 days? And how many of you want your existing customers or vendors to come back more often and get the word out for you? So I'm sure you're realizing that texting is very prominent. We all have our phones out. 98% of texts are read literally within 3 minutes. So text message marketing is one of the most popular marketing techniques right now, and a great option for small businesses, whether you're a restaurant or a business broker. It doesn't matter if you want to get in touch and looking to make that impact with your customer outreach, this is it. Texting, unlike other marketing techniques, guys, acts as a direct line to your customer and creates that personal connection that we're all looking for, even via Zoom, and between them and your business. So customers are more likely to see it and respond positively to a text message than to an email or an advertisement or anything on Facebook. But what we do as a company is we never say to anybody, no, we don't want you to do any of that. We want you to do everything. And what we're going to do is join hands with all of those platforms and get your message out, create a VIP text club with you of your existing customers, as well as those customers that are looking to do business with you, grow a database and get that and push out that message as often as you want. You can tap your customer or vendor on the shoulder. It is a unique and different approach. So it takes maybe about 10, 15 minutes, quite frankly, to consult with me and talk about exactly how it works. And I can really share some pretty amazing ROI and return on investments that these merchants are getting right now, and how you can actually get the service for free as well. So it's pretty neat service.
How do you help a restaurant build the database of telephone numbers? Because you can't do cold call texting.
Correct.
You have to build the database first.
Correct.
So how do you help the restaurant to do that?
Great question, Howard. So SendText has been around now. We're going into our 11th year in February, and this is all we do. We don't do anything else. So we're not a POS system that says we have texting, or a website company that says we have texting. This is what we're focused on. And we're as good as we are because we have an opt-in system. So what we do is we get your message out. You see what's behind me, which is she's right on George Bush Boulevard, by the way. This gal, Affluent Finds. And I used to live there on George Bush, so I popped in there just to see her, and talk to her about it, and she was pretty excited about it. So this message we create for a customer. We get you a digital, a graphic. We get, if you have a brick and mortar, we get signs everywhere. There's a lot of excitement for a restaurant to get the message out. Everybody's trained to get that message out that we have a new VIP text club. Have you joined? Have you joined? Have you joined? Start building that database through every single platform that they have, whether it's signs in the restaurant, get this graphic out on Facebook, get this graphic out on Instagram, get this graphic out in magazine advertising on TRN. Doesn't matter. Just get the message out that you have a new VIP text club. That one offer.
Do it like with table tents in a restaurant?
Correct, exactly. That one offer goes out there, people join. Now you have that data, and now you can literally push that text out as often as you want. I usually tell people maybe once a week. If you're lunching out, it could be every other day. If you have a special every day, you know. But it's you're just tapping people when you want to tap them. We have the birthday club as well, anniversary club. You could do contests. You can do many little things. You can send out a video.
So it's a process of building the database on the restaurant's part. They have to build the database.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
okay.
But they have followers. So if they have followers, right, on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere, we're touching all those people. If you're getting a magazine ad out, you're touching people who don't even know about them yet.
No, I understand, but the person has to respond with their cell phone number so that they could be added to the database.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you're
right. I also would be spamming, Howard. Right?
What's
if we
that?
took a whole bunch of numbers and just dropped them in which some companies do out there, and it's called spamming. That's why they're not around for long.
That's a huge fine if they get caught.
Exactly right. So we do it right, and that's why we've been around for a long time.
Terry, I have a question. So how long does it take you, more or less, let's say for a restaurant, they decide that they want to join TextFind, right? But they don't really have a strong following because they're brand new and so forth. So how long is it going to take them to build up that database for them to be able to make it cost effective, to see the ROI on it?
So it's a great question, Marisol. I think it's hard to say. I mean, what we have is a lot of programs where I'll even give them a month or two free up front to start building that database up. I would say it definitely takes probably for someone who has nothing, I would say at least 6 months, but you got to get in front, you got to use it. And the minute you start building, even if it's 10 people on your list, get 10 messages out there and have them bring friends to your store or to your restaurant, and then they join. So it's just this whole pattern and this whole building of data. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a quick question for Terry. Is that okay?
Sure.
Hi, Terry. I actually did a little research on this for my boys own a Rita's franchise in New Jersey. And I believe your company was one of the companies that I researched to give them the information. But on Howard's question or the building of the database, if it's not done internally, like you can rent a direct mail list, you can rent email lists, you can rent phone numbers and do telemarketing. So can you do that? Can you rent opt-in numbers to send a text to, and then anybody who responds, you can keep those and you can't keep any others?
So again, they have to opt in with the exact keyword and short code, like you see here, text find to 57838. That restaurant or business has that number for people to opt in to. They have to opt into that number, that keyword and number, to be able to get on the list. What I would do, though, and suggest, Michael, is if you're, and Marisol, if you're going to have a new restaurant or a new business, they can rent the email list or a way to push out this message, this graphic, and then you'll get, we see about a 10%. If you're talking about 10,000, a list of 10,000, you're going to get at least 10%. At least 10% that come back and join. And now you have these people that you could push your message out to.
Right. Any business that's not collecting email addresses or some kind of data on the table or through email blast or something, they're really letting gold slip through their fingers. Because once you have the email address, you can send them an email telling them that, today's your birthday or next week is your birthday. Come in for a free appetizer,
Mhm.
and for your group of 4. So you get one person's email address and you get 4 people coming in. Then when they come in, you can get them to opt in for texting. It's a process.
Yeah, most definitely. But before even the email, you can do this and put that right on the table and do that. You could do everything in conjunction, right? Which is great. This is why we always say to people, don't ever stop doing what you're doing. You know, just do
Right.
more of it. Now integrate this text message strategy along with what you're doing.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, Marisol.
Sorry, I had left for a second. I had to pick up that phone call. Client was having some issues today, so.
Yeah, I always say in this group, sales come first.
Very important. Sales gotta go. That's what
That's
what
it.
makes us happy. So thank you so much. A pleasure to meet all of you. I mean, some new faces. I'm new to the group. I just started last week, and I'm going to tell you very briefly what it is that ARF does. I'm an account executive for ARF Financial, VP of the South Florida region. And what we do is a non-traditional short-term loan. We're not a merchant cash advance company, but we are short-term, meaning we'll go out to 3 years. Those are set with bank term loan that we do for the clients depending on their needs and so forth. There's no need for collateral. There's minimal paperwork, but we have really shifted our view to, instead of just dealing with direct retail per se, me to the restaurant directly or the hospitality, we have really shifted our ground to start working more with referral partners. Referral partners as yourselves, you guys within the restaurant and hospitality. And I'll go into something else that we're doing currently because we have to again shift because of COVID, unfortunately, and we added a lot more industries to our portfolio. But what we do is we work directly with referral partners, and all we ask for them is to give us a warm lead. If one of you or someone you know is looking to get some working capital because they are in the process of closing on a deal and they need some bridge financing and they just need a short-term loan. If they are looking for equipment financing, which I understand right now is very difficult to get, there's a shortage, they're not really lending that much, they can use that. We don't attach our working capital to anything specific as long as it's being used within the business and for the business, right? Now, like I said, we've been in the business and marketing we were originally in the marketing business for restaurants and hospitality over 20 something odd years ago. We saw the need for financing within that industry, the restaurant and hospitality, which is who we marketed it to. So the company owner sold the business for $400 million and used that capital to open up ARF. And here we are 22 years later and still lending to that industry. And we still are. We're very aggressive. We still lend up to $675,000 with no collateral on multiple entities and 450 to a single entity. Obviously, they have to, meet the guidelines, because I'm not going to give you $500,000 on a 551 credit score, right? But but the opportunity is there, and believe it or not, we're like common sense lending. And like I said, we have now opened our industries to include wholesale, to include hardware stores, healthcare, home health cares. There's mechanical services, there's aerospace. I mean, there's so much nutrition, a lot of stuff that goes on with nutrition. No diet stuff though, all that diet craziness we don't do. But there is a lot, and it gives an opportunity for those individuals, if they're looking for working capital, that I can help them. Okay, I'm a very one-on-one And usually what I do is I work, like I said, with referral partners. We pay those referral partners up to a 3% residual for 3 years. And all I need is a warm lead. I don't expect you guys to do anything. That's why I'm here. I make sure that I get everything done for you guys. And then you get paid. Basically, that's what I do in a nutshell.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Marisol, what is your average percentage rate that you charge?
Right now, we have an interest only. So a lot of my clients are taking that, and that's running between a 9 and a 13%. But if you're going for our traditional lending, okay, we're expensive money. We're not cheap. So we can go anywhere. Our average, I would say, it's between a 21 and 22. Okay. I have seen it to go all the way to 39. I'm not going to lie. I'm very transparent with my clients, and I think that's the most important part. Transparency is extremely important. If it's not for them, it's not for them, and I'm okay with that. You know, I just did a restaurant in Hawaii, just to give you a basic idea. He is between a 651 and a 699. He has had this business for 5 years. And we gave him in October, which was right after COVID, where we were like kind of treading, not sure that we wanted to lend yet, 150,000 on his business. I am now reaching out back to him because he needed additional working capital because he's doing some other things, and I'm offering him another 300,000. Right? He's not having to put up any collateral, but his rate is 19%. So he's not in the horrible end, but he's not in the best end. So it just depends. It depends on the whole scenario and what we could do.
Yeah, a friend of mine does that, works for a company that does this, and in New York. And so I actually inquired a little about it because I had a friend who has a pizzeria that was interested. And so
usually pizzerias are very big with us, pizzerias, small shops, because they don't, the reality is, and I know all of you have seen this, the smaller merchants, the smaller business owners really don't have great financials, right? If you don't have great financials, you can't go through a traditional lending. If you don't have great credit, you know, you might not be able to get all those lines of credit that you truly need to have for working capital to move your, and so they end up with having to pay. The good thing is that since we are FDI insured, okay, we can't do anything funky, and everything that they pay in interest is tax deductible versus a true merchant cash advance. That's not a possibility. And so that's another plus. And I mean, I always tell my clients, and I'm very, very clear, I say, we are expensive. If there is another avenue that we can put you through, or not myself, but if I can give referrals to other avenues where they might be doing better, I will, because I don't ever want to do anything that doesn't, it's not the best for my client. I want them to be in business for a long time because I want them to be able to do business with me for a long time. If I put them out of business, there goes my business. So that's how I think about it. Not everybody might not do that, but I do.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to introduce you to a member of our Friday group. He does long-term financing. Yeah.
That'd be great. Yes. I have some contacts with the SBA. I worked with, but the person that I have in contact doesn't do SBA here in Florida. And my contacts within the banking are, they don't like to like work with us too much because they might see it as a conflict of interest. So I don't have an SBA person that has an authorization to work here in Florida.
Okay.
So if you have somebody, it'll be great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
TRN Terry.
Hi, I'm Terry. I also work for Today's Restaurant News. And what I do pretty much 90% of the time is handle the leads report. The leads report is a vital part of our business. And with everything that has happened, restaurants closing, but right behind them are new places coming in. So I have people that gather leads all month. They get them to me by the 1st. I format them and get them to my customers, our customers that we've had 6-7 years with new people coming on all the time by the 9th of the month in an Excel spreadsheet. If it's an area that that salesman doesn't use, he can sell it to one of his partners who does. He can sort it out how he wants, by zip or by city. These leads reports are invaluable. And we have one in Georgia that is not the same as Florida. It's smaller, obviously. Right now, there isn't as much business, but there are people coming in, and there are new chains. And actually, I got a couple today that are coming into Georgia and actually Florida as well. So those leads, getting a couple hundred a month for a year, is vital. When you guys were talking about email addresses, you can get those off of that report and collect. Good grief, you can collect email addresses, for every month. We probably have brand new leads a month in Florida. I'm going to say about 40 to 50, sometimes more, brand new. There is a red line across the middle that says everything above this line was not on the last report. Everything below is updated. Maybe now we have a manager's email instead of an info at. And we try and bold or put those in red so it's different than last time. So you don't have to go through the whole thing. And we give you the owner or GM's name. We give you the place, about when it's opening, about how many seats. And I have people that email me and say, hey, do you know anything more about this place? Well, I will get one of the girls to go ahead and just really research that and see what they can come up with, make some calls, see what they can do. And a lot of times we can get everything that they want, and we have a place around the corner, literally probably a mile from here, that I have been trying to get this guy. And he is so secretive, but I did manage to get his phone number and email address. And it's a beautiful place opening up in Boca. And it's called Waltz All American. It's very classy. It's got red Corvettes outside. It's like, yes, that's where he's going to do the business. And, but he's got high-end stuff. But then the new places that are coming in, they don't know anybody. They don't know where to get things. They don't know, they're just coming in. So they need everything. So I've got my people at Cisco, at Gordon, at United Food Service, at many of the auction places. They want to know what's coming in and what closed so they can get the auctions on the old, equipment and spaces. Again, I handle the leads report, the girls that do them, and we go the extra mile to make sure that you get the address, the name, the phone number, the owner, and the email. And I even had a guy, again, from Cisco that called and wanted 2 years back of the older restaurants, and he paid for them. And I told him, a lot of these are probably closed. And he said, doesn't matter. I want all the emails. I'm gathering all the emails. I didn't do it when I had the report. So that's what I do. Terry at TRN. Thank you.
What's very important with what Terry is talking about is that the leads report gives some of the people in the industry, like if you look around this group alone, Steve doesn't need somebody who's just opening. He's looking for somebody who's maybe closing or maybe looking to buy another place. Some people in the cleaning business want to know restaurants that have just opened, and we have that in the report as well. And the new openings part of it, the restaurants that are under construction, I call those the people who have the money to spend at the moment. They're the ones who have budgeted X amount of dollars for opening this restaurant, and they are out to spend that money to get it open. So if you have a product or a service that they need, they're more apt to buy at that time. So it's a good report for you.
Yes, and actually the report, and I forgot to mention, and you just reminded me, the majority, 3/4 of the report are under construction. So it gives you more time, you know, and then the older reports also, if you're not happy with your services, you can email all of them in one email blast. They might want to change, you know, providers. Maybe they don't like their POS people. Maybe the fees are too high. Maybe they don't like, you know, their cleaning people or their hood vent cleaning or the oil systems, you know, they want to change. And that is huge. That is as huge as getting a hold of a restaurant that's just starting. They're not happy with their services. These are really tough times. Everybody has discounted, and sometimes you just have to go in and do that. And it really makes a difference. And you have a customer for life.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Shoot.
Have you been able to, or have you thought about separating the existing restaurants that you have on the list that are still in business, and being able to sort out who is in business, who has existed for
Yeah, we
3
have
years, 5 years?
No, that
we
is,
have a database of over 15,000 restaurants that are currently in business.
Howard, I don't think that's what she meant. I think she was specifically talking about the list. Am I correct, Terry?
Yeah,
Okay.
So
That list is monthly. Like if you were to get that list, you would get it by the 9th. Okay, well, on the next list, you're going to have 50 brand new restaurants that weren't on this month's list that are just signed leases, just broken ground. I got 2 this morning from a real estate firm who said, this place is closing. I'll give it to you. Rattlesnake Jake's, anybody in Florida knows them. 2nd Avenue around the corner in Deerfield Beach. Okay, well, they have just been sold after 30 years, and they were brokered by a firm that we know, which is Practice. And he actually brought in a cantina place that's going to have a live bar and music, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to be really cool. And he's going to need everything. This place is 30 years old. So that's kind of what, you know, and you're going to find that out on the next report. So that's what we do.
Okay.
But to answer your question, no, because that would mean, how do we call or contact all of the restaurants that have closed? Absolutely not. Our lists are like up to date new. So you're getting the ones that have just opened within the last 30 or 60 days, and then the ones that are coming. You know, if you buy the older lists, it's a crapshoot. Yeah, they're either open or they're not, and you find out by an email or a call, which is actually a really good idea, because then you can find out what else went in there. So
what's the cost of the old list versus new?
The old list I do at $199 a year, which it's not. The ones that buy now for the new list are $489 a year. For this group, it's $429. And then you're grandfathered in. Each year renewal, whatever it goes to, you're never above the $429. So, but it's $199 on the older list. It's also $199 for Georgia. So instead of $429, because there's a lot less in Georgia.
And that's for one state.
Yes.
Right.
Like 199 is one state. Okay.
Yeah. So like if you wanted all of 2020 for Florida, you would get 12 reports for $199.
Or New York. Can you do New York?
I wish.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
We just have Florida and Georgia, but thanks for asking.
So Terry, let me ask you a question. So the 199 that you're mentioning, because unfortunately I can't do startup businesses, like right off the target, they must have a minimum of a year, right?
Right.
So your 429 list kind of doesn't do me any good because it's upcoming and groundbreaking, right?
Right.
So your 199, how many leads does it actually have and that it was that for 2020, or can I ask you for 2019?
You could have 2019 or 2020 for 199, which, you know, you pick a year, and you're going to get 12 reports January through December. So thousands. You know, I don't know, but that's what you would get.
Right, because that would make more sense for me because
For
the
you, absolutely,
For me.
absolutely. And that was why I said that, because specifically for you.
okay.
Absolutely.
That's okay.
If I could ask, do you know how old those businesses are on your old list, or is it just the businesses that became on stream at that point?
The old businesses, like say for the year 2020, I think I have them back to 2017, but for 2020, those businesses are no more than a year and a half old. Well, it's 2021, so they would have opened in 2020, although some of them are scheduled to open 2021, 2022. They may not, they
That's
may have
minor.
been in the midst of this COVID thing and been halted, which we put a note there, stalled due to COVID or something like that, so that it's a lot of work for a lot of people to put these things together. And I don't know anybody else. I know a lot of lead companies, but I don't know anybody else that has these kind of leads at all anywhere. But to answer your question, you buy 2020 leads, you're probably getting them as of today. They're going to be, if you start looking at January of 2020, well, now you're a year. So they're open. The ones that are open on top, you're getting 12 months, January through December, that are open, maybe a year and a half, some 2 years, maybe they were, we had people that called us and said they just opened. And we found out as we Googled them, they had been open for 6 months. They just wanted to be in the paper. So, somehow get their name out there, which, whatever. But I would say about a year and a half.
Okay.
All right, Steve. As long as you asked the question, why don't you do your presentation?
Oh, sure. I'm Steve Whitehill, and I own Anchor Business Brokers and Advisors, and I'm a business broker. I help people buy and sell businesses. And I like to think about it these days as I really help people achieve the goals that they want, whether it's your retirement or finding a new opportunity. And you can never tell what I have available for sale. I just sort of pick one out of my list. I've got about 2,400 businesses for sale at the moment. And I found this one, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's a deli slash supermarket slash catering facility, and it's kosher. So they have a unique clientele. They do about $2.7 million a year, and on that they make $675,000, which is about a 25% ROI, well, not ROI, profit margin, which is on the high side of normal. So that's pretty good return. And you can buy it for only $750,000, and they're asking for a down payment of only $400,000, which means that in this case they're willing to finance the balance themselves for 5 years. So this is a pretty good deal, and you might be able to go to a more conventional source and finance this as well, and might only have to put down 10 to 20% to be able to do it. So there are all sorts of interesting opportunities. And by the way, in COVID, they've actually, sales are up 20%, which considering what they do makes some sort of sense. So there are real opportunities in these days in just about everything. And here's one that's in our field and seems like a real opportunity. Steve Whitehill, Anchor Business Brokers, helping you live the life you want.
Steve, where are you located? I forgot.
Down the block. I'm in Boca.
Oh, great. Good. Is that business local?
That business is in Broward.
Okay,
although I suspect it's wrong, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a kosher restaurant, I would think it's actually in Boca. Not a kosher restaurant, a kosher supermarket and catering facility. I think it's in Boca, and they just put Broward so that people wouldn't know who they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess it's up to me. My name is Howard Appel. I'm the founder and publisher of Today's Restaurant News, which is a trade newspaper for the food service industry. We started in 1996 in print, and in 2018, we made the jump to an all digital publication. So, uh, consequently, because we are online now, we went from a Florida centric newspaper to a national type newspaper, and we try to provide information for restaurants all over the country. Uh, what we do provide, besides what Terry was talking about, is we have a database of over 15,000 restaurants, primarily in Florida at this time, and it grows every day. And we can take your information or your ad and email it to those people for a very reasonable price. And we also, what I really wanted to do is start out with, I wanted to ask you, before COVID, how many of you were actually on the street every day? I mean, I'm sure Daniel and I'm sure, John, I'm sure you were out seeing customers. If you were out seeing customers at the best and really hustling and not spending a lot of time at a customer, you could do 10 a day, maybe, if you're lucky. And I doubt you could even do that. With an email blast, I can send it out to 15,000 restaurants and get your information out to them and get a ballpark 10% open rate. So of the 15,000, let's say you get 1,000 people who read the information, as opposed to 10 that you get, you know, getting in your car and traveling. So it's a great way to get your information out quickly. And on Monday mornings, we push a different article out. Steve Whitehill's article, I think, is coming out, or just came out.
Just came out.
Just went out. Yeah. And we send that out to our database every Monday. And we also list our advertisers within that email. For you guys who are here who want to send us information about your business, we do take press releases. Doesn't have to be a big, long article. It's 25 to 75 words. You could submit it with your logo or a photograph of the product. Daniel, we just got one from Daniel, I believe.
And Terry Bean.
And Terry, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to be more than just a newspaper. We try to be involved in people's marketing and educating them to marketing. And we're very excited about 2021 being our 25th anniversary. And because it's our 25th anniversary, we are celebrating it with different contests and different events. And the first contest of the year is ending this Friday. What we're asking you to do is to send us your guess as to how many emails we sent out in the year 2020. I can tell you it's not 100. I can tell you it's not 1,000. If you send us your guess and you're the closest one, you will get a $100 gift card to the business of your choice, or $100 credit to advertise with us on your choice. Just send me an email, Howard at trnusa.com. Tell all your clients about it. It's just to have some fun with it. And what else do we do? Oh, the email blast. We started doing video email blast. So, for example, let's say Terry Beam has her process, or Rob has an explanation as to what they do in video. We can send that out as well in an email that I format for you. So we offer a lot of different products and a lot of different ways to increase your business.
Services. Yeah.
Did I leave anything out?
Your age.
Howard, so with your email blasts, generally speaking, say with a postcard mailing, you need to mail, say maybe 5 postcards in order, a series of postcards,
Right.
to be effective, et cetera. So instead of like one and done, how many times do you feel an email blast should be executed to gain the greatest return on your investment?
At a minimum, I would say once a month. And
The follow up, Howard.
yeah, I'm just going to mention that. What we also offer is, let's say we send out the email blast to the 15,000, and we get 1,000 people who open it. What we can do is take those 1,000 people, and you can then send an email, a different email, to those 1,000 people, and say, thank you very much for your interest in our company, blah, blah, blah. Here's a special offer for you as a reader of today's restaurant news. And we do that for $79 for the follow-up. So it's very...
Can you do more than one follow-up?
Yeah, you could. He says, what happens, here's what happens. If you get an open rate of 10% on the initial email blast, your second follow-up open rate rises from 40 to 70%. Usually they're in 40 to 50%, but sometimes they go up real high. And then if you do it again, the open rate continues to open, because those are the people who are interested, and you're really isolating, you're getting the low-hanging fruit, basically. So it's a great way. It's my own funnel.
Yeah, that sounds good. So if say the 1,000 people
All right, hold on a second.
opened it, are those emails stay your property? But if I spent $79 and did a follow-up to those 1,000 people,
We do it for you.
At what point do they become mine?
They would have to answer you directly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Although I'm considering for the group, early on today, I was thinking about this. Maybe if we did, let's say 1,000, we had 1,000 people read it, and 1% actually clicked on your link. That would be the ones that you want to know about. Mm-hmm. So I could provide that information to you directly.
Yeah,
I would offer that.
Mail, I've been in direct mail for a very long time, and you rent a list. You don't buy a list, so you rent a list,
right.
And whoever subscribes, donates, buys, those names you can keep. If the list works well, you rent it again. So it's similar. You just have to determine what constitutes that response. But like you said, them responding directly to you, or maybe if they click through to the site, maybe that equates to responding directly to you.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we've got everybody. I appreciate everybody coming today, and hopefully you see the value of meeting everybody here and learning. There are people that didn't come today who are in the group, who had other commitments. So there's always different and new people coming, and we're working hard to build this group. In the other group that we have on Fridays, we had 24 people right before Christmas, and we usually run around 20. So I think we'll get this group there as well. This is only the third meeting, like I said, of this group. So we are in building mode. And I appreciate you coming. And if you have any questions during the week, if you need any other information, don't hesitate to call. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, do you have like 30 seconds?
Sure. Hold on, let me stop.